that's where I'll be. Shoulder me dying, got this truck flying, I'll be there on time. Heading down the highway looking for a rodeo sign. You might think it's crazy chasing this cowboy thing, making a living riding horses, bulls, and dreams.
Good evening and welcome to the legendary Gold Coast Hotel and Casino and National Finals tonight. Brought to you in part by Kentucky Fire, Maker's Mark, Pinnacle Vodka, Coors, 14 Hands Vineyards, Cooper Tires, Ram Rodeo, Justin Boots, National Cowboy Museum, Wrangler, Montana Silversmiths, Resist All Hats, Pepsi, Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time World Champion Bull Rider Donnie Gay, 8-time World Champion Cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Hello, everyone. Well, boy, what a good-looking crowd. Welcome to National Finals tonight. We are so honored to have you with us tonight. Did you enjoy the rodeo tonight? A great night, wasn't it, huh? Oh, this is a good crowd. There's actually people from Wyoming here tonight, too.
Christy Law.
Yeah, that's what I'm liking, huh? 50 degrees back home today. Flip-flops and halter tops in Wyoming when it gets that kind of degree, yeah. Let's get this, boy, we have a great night coming up for you. We're so honored to have you with us here for National Finals tonight. This is our 8th year of doing this show, and my co-hosts and I have done every single show together. Let's get them out here. First man, no stranger to you, the best bull rider ever in my books, 8-time world champion bull rider Donnie Gay is here. Donnie, come on out.
All right. Monday night football, my butt. It's rodeo time in Vegas.
How are you?
Good, real
I'm
good.
darn proud of you. You wore pink tonight. That's
Is that not a pink shirt? Yeah.
I'm liking it. Last year there was a mix-up and he wore orange and
Well, I was a happy face then.
started to
being for real.
try a whole new thing, old enough to wear orange, not the same deal. Let's get our other co-host out here, shall we? This is going to be a good night. I'm excited about this show. This gentleman, also an 8-time world champion, and a great guy. Would you welcome Joe Beaver? He's here tonight. Joe.
The only thing, pink.
There's pink and there's pink.
I'm glad to see that those $1,000 glasses are working finally.
Oh, man.
He knows what color pink is.
Yeah.
Joe just was jealous. He didn't have an orange shirt like I did.
That's it. You know the only thing bad about Monday Night Football and tonight, don't you? Did the Packers win?
Oh, yeah.
Boy, it's coming. It won't be nothing nice.
It'll be rough. Joe, I always like to start things off when it's a tough enough to wear pink night because of your involvement in it. And some people still may not know. So just tell them again how it started, because it all did start here.
It did. It started right out there at the Cowboy.
Very often, but this little lady's been dreaming about.
And I were sitting around talking one year right before the finals, and he said, we ask, we always want one. He said, you got to figure something to give back to. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, find some cause to raise money for. And I said, well, my grandmother is very special to me. You know, she's the one that taught me which fork to use and what a finger bowl was. You didn't drink it, you washed your hands in it and stuff like that. I said, she had breast cancer. I said, she's, big part of it. He said, well, let's sell T-shirts. So at the first year, we had white T-shirts with a pink outline, a picture of me roping that said tough enough to wear pink. And we sold them for $20 cash, no tax. And at the end of the week, we gave it all to some fund, breast cancer fund. After 2 years of that, Terry Wheatley come on board, picked it up. She was in with a big wine company back then. They got in on it, got Wrangler involved in it. Karl Stressman stepped in there and ran with it for us, and now it's $20 million.
I still have nightmares about the pink mustache.
The pink mustache wasn't as bad as that pink hair, because that hair used to be about yay long down here, and it was this color pink right here. Karl Stressman in pink.
Let me tell you, if you
Hey,
would like
fellas.
to participate in our show tonight, there's a text number. We've already have questions coming in. So if you'd like to text a question to us, here's the phone number, 702-582-5638. They'll put that across the screens up here, and you can send us up a question. We'd love to have you participate with us. Also, tomorrow, if you'd like to watch this show, or later on tonight, you can go to YouTube and put in National Finals Tonight. This show and all the shows are logged there, and they will come up, but also on the Wrangler Network. I'm up early in the morning putting a highlight package of each night's show on there as well, so you can, I'm going to call you, matter of fact, tomorrow morning when I'm up doing that, and you can check us out there as well. If you didn't get a chance to go to the rodeo tonight or watch it on television, you are in luck, because the winners and a highlight package we have put together for you, and just like these guys do live on television each and every night, they're going to do it for you now. Donnie Gay, bareback riding, night number 5.
All
Kick it
right.
off.
Fifth go-round started out with a bareback riding pro rodeo. Always does that. The $1 Million Baby, Richard Champion. Richie can really ride. Dirty Jacket. This is a bucking horse of the year. This is a great bareback ride, 88.5 points. And you watch this kid. Did I tell you he was from Texas? Yeah,
Texas
right out there
boy.
by Houston.
That's
But
right.
what a great
Right by
way to
me,
start the rodeo.
Woodlands. Steer wrestling, Curtis Cassidy. I'm glad he finally struck. This is my fantasy tattoo, man. He's saving me. A wide go. Curtis catches him, gets him up over the hip, stays over the nose, makes that steer kick, gets a fast flag. In the team roping, the George Strait winners from a few years ago. Here we go. High school team roping partners. Coleman Proctor, Jake Long. The difference in this run is watch this header if we get to see it. He has a decision, go up the wall or face, and watch him face. He knows his buddy's gonna rope 2 feet. He knew what was gonna happen. They win to go around 4 and 1.
Saddle bronc riding, the wild man from Iowa, Wade Sundell, and he has got Son of Sadie, 87 points, and this kid, 2 go-rounds in a row. That's 2 firsts for Wade Sundell. He shaved his mustache, or, the beard and all that. Almost looks like a nice guy, but look at him. He's having way too much fun.
And just to show, that's way too much rain, isn't it? I mean, this guy wins
That's
the
way
day
too much.
money.
Look at it.
Wins the day money.
The rain is a little long, and watch this. You talk about a guy that loves to ride right. I'd hate to tell you what he was saying.
Tie down roping tonight was the big pin, the big calves. Adam Gray, I don't know where this guy's been, but tonight he made a great run. Calves are bigger, stronger. Adam Gray's a big guy, puts 2 wraps and a hooey on him.
That's a big pin.
7-3 he's done. They're big compared to what they usually rope. There's the difference maker. A lot of guys didn't get him flanked tonight. His horse worked. When your horse works, it makes it easy. If you're 7-3, you're going to get paid almost every day. He wins the day money tonight. His first strike of the week. He needed it because we're in round number 5.
Well, he did a great job in the barrel racing, Joe. We had a little everything in there.
We had everything tonight. Michelle McLeod, she come in here when that mare smoked the first barrel. You could tell what was going to happen. I really think these older horses, they're figuring out now. We had a little ground trouble first 2 nights. If you watched any of it on TV, a lot of barrels down, there are reasons. Horses slipping, hitting barrels. They're figuring out now the footing's good, they're running fast.
They're running fast, and then the bull riding. Rookie, first-time NFR bull rider Joe Frost. He has already been to the winner's circle. He's ridden, 4 out of 5 bulls. Makes a great ride, 89 points. Watch this. Here's a guy that's like 6 foot tall. His legs are big around his butt. That's big. Now, watch this guy. He can put the monster mash on him, but he's got some finesse about him. He's grown up in the rodeo family. His granddad, Clyde Frost. I'm going to tell you what, this boy right here got 1 more semester to graduate college. And I said, are you going to be something? He said, yeah, rodeo cowboy. I'm going to go to a lot more.
And you know what he said the other night right here on stage and made an impression on me? He said, yeah, I'm big, I'm strong, and I can mash him like you said. But he said, my dad always told me to ride him like a little guy. And that's what he did right there, won the day money.
Great job.
What he said was ride him like a little wimpy guy, and he was looking right at me, and I thought...
I was going to leave that part out. I was going to try to give you a little air tonight, but since you bring it up, yeah, he pointed it right to you.
Give him a hand. Great job, guys, on that. Nicely done. We've already had a question come in here, and so let's deal with this. And I don't know the answer. Maybe Joe does. Did Fallon Taylor get fined Sunday night for not wearing a cowboy or cowgirl
I doubt it
hat?
because she wore a helmet. But somebody asked me in conversation for my opinion, which, that's a mistake. They said, why do you think Fallon's wearing that helmet? I said, because some helmet company paid her. Pretty simple. I mean, she wears a hat all the other time. She doesn't just pick it. But it's because a lot of kids wear helmets. I don't think they could fine her for that. Surely not. But
If they fined her, we wouldn't have a bull
all
riding.
right, I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming.
exactly.
Because they don't know what hats are.
I mean, they really, most of their hats don't fit.
Let's, Joe, since we're talking about the barrel racing, you had mentioned to me just before we started here about, and Donnie alluded to it, a mishap in the girls' barrel racing. The guys have got that put together.
I
So,
mean,
Christy, let's take a look at it, Joe. And
watch his first
Franktown,
barrel. Now, this
Colorado.
horse drops, and he
It's
rides his
time.
good ground tonight. And I'm talking about she gets on the outside of this shoulder. Look at that. And there is no way to go. Ooh, but down, and her foot hangs in a stirrup. Watch right about here. When that saddle horn is underneath here, way back there, it's not easy to look cool. Poor Christy, I feel for her because Donnie's probably done like me and mouthed off before, and they say,
Franktown, Colorado.
and I'm telling you, that shit's hard right there. That's hard to do. You can ride a barrel horse that lopes around the barrels. But one like that worth $250,000 that sucks that first barrel up like a Hoover vacuum cleaner, they're hard to ride.
I mean, whenever you're going down, and all you can just barely see the tips of his ears, things are going south in a hurry. But
Southeast.
or east, west,
Back.
ass over tea kettle, it
Yeah,
don't
there you
really
go.
matter.
There you go.
You didn't. Well, it was bad.
let me
was
help
bad.
you.
But I mean,
What I want to do, Donnie, is show you J.R. Vizane in the bareback riding because he had not a good day
took a
over
while
till
for
it's
him to
over,
wake
Donnie.
up.
So let's take it. The ride was fine. He got through that. It's the coming around and getting off where he had trouble. So,
I'm jealous. Look at all the hair.
Oh, man. I remember when...
I've grown through all mine, but I like that. Okay, he's waiting on the pickup man. Here he comes. Josh Edwards, Chase Servey. Ooh.
We've got a couple of close-ups on it. Jeremy, if you can slow it down.
Now
Watch
if we
his
can
hand,
get
hand.
that slowed
Just
down.
run it on forward, Jeremy, till we get up to the actual...
get all the way back there after he makes the ride. Well, this is a really nice bareback
It is.
ride, so we can go ahead and watch that. But JR, he won the
Watch
finals
this, right
here
here.
last year, but
Watch
now
this, Donnie.
something's fixing to hit his head because he's stunned, and I don't think it's just the ground, but hands coming out of the rigging, hopefully, because they got him in there real tight.
It's not out yet.
Still trying to get it out. Okay. Now, the horse's back foot's on his
Front.
Front foot hits him right
See,
A left cross, you're right.
the eyes.
A left cross.
Yeah.
Look right there. What do you
I
say?
thought so.
You talk
Lights are
about
on.
no moss.
No moss, nobody home.
Yeah.
Lights are on, but ain't nobody home. That's true. But you can keep one of the flag girls that helps us out every night to keep her in your prayers. She got up and cowboyed up, walked out of the arena, but I know she either had a broken arm, broken shoulder, but could have been way, way worse, and we're real fortunate. But anytime that you're messing with stuff that's bigger than you, look out, because you can get hurt.
It can happen.
All right. Thanks, guys, for getting that pulled up for us back there. Let's get on with this night. We have so many people here that I'm anxious to talk to. This first guy, gosh, he's the toughest guy in town to get to come talk to you, and his good buddy Joe is here, and so he is here. Would you welcome one-of-a-kind, six-time world champion Cody Ohl is in the house tonight.
Cody!
CO, how are you, baby? How are you? You got the whole family with us tonight. I wonder if they're all coming.
They made it.
Good. Stay
Just
with us.
tell us who's over there, Cody. Put a
It's
bright
my,
light on
my
that.
wife
thing.
Jenny in the corner over here.
You got a light over there, guys, that we can take a look at Cody's family? Yeah.
There we are.
My daughter Sailor sitting right beside her. My stepmom Jenna Beaver over there. And then Blake and Hunter sitting right there front row.
Good to have you guys with us tonight. Thanks for coming out tonight. Give them a hand. It's good to have you here.
Nice Cowboys.
Cody, I hope your ears have been just buzzing the last couple of nights, because every night out here we get Bob Tallman and Boyd, and we're talking about you and what you've meant to this event and what you've meant to the sport. But for me, outside looking in, what a pleasure it is to watch you compete.
Before we get started,
Go
I just
ahead.
want to say congratulations to Cody Ohl. You people need to give him a round of applause. 50 first place go-round wins at National Finals Rodeo. Let me tell you, I know how hard this is to do. He's not done yet. We don't know how many, 50, maybe 60, or at least 50, 55
to
or
get
whatever.
to 50 is an amazing feat.
It's
in
unbelievable.
Itself. That's right.
Unbelievable to
I've been
me.
here in 3 events.
Knowing the competition, I mean, he's roped against everybody that's supposed to be great.
It wasn't like he had a layoff year, layout where the bottom 40 showed up. It's been the top 14.
Anyway, but enough gushing over Cody. That's big.
Thank you, buddy.
Cody, I want you to talk about this year, because this year you get injured, you get freight trained by one of your own cattle, I think. Talk us through that, when that happened, and how you got back so quickly to make it here.
This last year, after last year, my goal was I've kind of cut myself short, going a few less rodeos, and so I got the winter started off good. Left here with my head between my legs, kind of, the 9th round. That calf took me out of,
a world championship.
World championship.
We'll say it.
World championship.
We said it on this stage before. We'll say it.
So anyway, I got started off with a bang. I went to Denver, won the first rodeo of the year that I went to, and was excited about this year. So, but anyway, I still didn't only go to just the stock shows. I never got out of my little circle that I go to, and I had $15,000 or $20,000 won, which I was tickled with that. So then all the kids' activities started firing up, and then they all three played baseball this year. So usually that just ends about 10 days before Reno. So that's my go time, and my Pearl was in 100% great shape, and I went ahead and had sent her out with Shane Hanchey to Reno, and I was going to fly out the next day and then send my rig on to Greeley. Well, I got a new lease place, and I just had a handful of my buck and bred cows left, and I was going to move them to that lease place, and got them down the alley. It was the last 5 that I had to load out. I already had the whole front of the trailer loaded down, and right before they turned to go on the trailer, one ducked back, and she had already ducked back a couple times the first day and never thought twice about it, just kind of got up against the fence out of the way when she come by me and slung her head back and hit me right up underneath my arm and shattered the rib in 17 places and then pinholed my lung. So it was.
And how quickly did you come back? Because when that happened, I said that in a report, 17 places it broke your rib into, shattered your rib. And then how quickly were you back?
It was 45 days, and it should have been probably 60. But man, it was just funny because a couple of days before that I did an interview, and being realistic, I got 4 or 5 great years left, I think, and at the time it happened, I was out there by myself, and I could barely get back to the truck and get it over to the house to where my wife was at, and I remember just saying those words, and then felt like it was going to be one of those Lane Frost stories. I just felt like I was bleeding out inside, and I was fixing to be it for me, and that was the things that I think about, because I just said that a few days before that, and then, just the blink of an eye can all be taken away from you as well.
And then you had pneumonia set in as well, if I recall.
I spent 2 days in the local hospital there at Hamilton.
Which we tried to move you earlier, didn't we, Jenny? We tried. Hard-headedness set in. Till we got the better end of the deal, moved you on to the bigger town.
Yeah, so I stayed an additional 3 days in Waco, and like I said, I had more of extensive breathing programs, and like I said, I had a little bit of residue of pneumonia wanting to settle in at the bottom of that lung, so they shipped me over there for 3 more days. So, but like I said, it was 45 days sitting at home, and I made I don't know, this is how I feed my family. I'm not a professional football player or baseball player. It's what I make in the arena is what goes in the bank account, and I just made a decision. My wife's an orthopedic nurse and an RN as well, but, I talked to her, and then I made a call to Tandy, and Dr. Evans is who my wife works for, and, just playing it out, if I, bandaged it up, put the rib protectors over, as long as I wasn't going to lose my life, if I could deal with the pain, what was the chances of me going on and competing? And they both just said, it's all about the pain. If you can endure the pain and keep it covered where nothing, any blunt blows to it, the ball's in my court. So.
Well, with the ball being in your court, it was more than that. It was like you were supposed to be out a lot longer. So I get a video. When you tied those kids and sent them video? That was 2 weeks before Nampa.
No, that was 3 days before Nampa.
You were supposed to wait 2 weeks more after that day.
When I went to Nampa, the day before.
Is that when you tied him?
No, the day before I was competing at Nampa, I was at the water park with my kids.
Yeah.
And the doctor had called and said,
So
hey,
where's your appointment at?
Yeah, where are you? You missed your appointment.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been my first checkup.
But mentally, I say all the time, and I say it on TV about Cody is he's so mentally strong about things. He sends me some videos tying this little calf from the end of the rope, and he says, I believe I'm ready. I said, well, Cody, I text back, if you're not, don't. He said, B, I've got to go to Nampa, because if I don't go to Nampa, I don't have a good a chance because I'm going to be sore. It's a fast setup, blah, 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 blah. So the first rodeo back is Nampa, and you place him both rounds or one the first round
I was
or something?
1/10 of a second
Off.
I was 8 flat, took 7-9 to place in the first round. I was come back the next day with 7-6 and 1/5 in the second round, and come back second high man back.
Comes back, wins the short go and the average at Nampa. That's the first rodeo back. And for y'all don't know, Nampa is one of the toughest July rodeos you go to. I mean, the time fast, things happen quick. And to be, you're supposed to still be, the doctor wondered where he was. He didn't show up for his appointment, and he wins $12,000 at Nampa 3 weeks before he's even supposed to be back roping. That's why champions have the gold buckles, because it's mental fortitude. You've got it.
If you've never had broken ribs, you don't really understand what they've just been talking about. I mean, when you can't go to the bathroom or sleep, you're pretty well hurt. And that's what broken ribs are. So he's not going to the bathroom or sleeping. He's roping calves, getting off his horse, running down the rope, flanking, tying, getting back on his horse, riding him up, and getting a check. I'm going to tell you, that's cowboying up there now.
Give it to him. He's got it coming.
It was the funny story about all this is the day before I got there after the water park. We're taking my kids to the water park, and Marty Yates had picked me up. We ran to get a sandwich in town or something. Actually, we went to Panda Express. Yep. And Shane Hanchy was texting him. They've been rodeoing together, and he says, well, Marty's like, well, how? Before I got Marty's phone, he was texting Shane about what I was going to do tomorrow, being cold turkey and broke rib and whole 9 yards. And he texts something back to him. Well, Shane texts back, and then Marty laid his phone down. Well, I grabbed his phone, I looked at it, and he says, well, what do you think? How fast do you think he's going to be tomorrow? And I said, hey, let me finish this. And so I texted back, he'll be 7 something, and Shane says, are you kidding me? Cold turkey, broke rib, yada, yada, yada. He just goes on, this big spill. And I said, I'll bet you $1,000. And so he texts back, just common stuff there for a second. And then he catches on. He said, this is not Marty. So anyway, it was maybe my most favorite run in 10, 20 years. I mean, I got people videoing me on my phone, and I can see guys on both sides of the score line, and not a one of them don't have their cell phone out videoing that run.
They want to see what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And it was special. I wish I'd have just maybe ran one calf, because I didn't know how bad it was going to hurt when I actually got off my horse. And I'm just not riding just a horse. I mean, I'm riding the stopping this, pulling this, bring the calf into me horse that's ever lived, And I got down there, and I was right when I went to flank. I was just thinking, it's just fixing to hurt. It's gonna spread, and I'm gonna pee myself probably. And so I get him strung, and the whole time I've got enough stuff in me. I wasn't gonna feel it, but I thought I was, and I get him strung and get him gathered, and I'm like, oh, it's not really hurting, but I'm thinking the whole time it's fixing to, and I kind of bobbled my string one time, and I was 8 flat. And I sure was wanting to be 7'9" so bad.
Was it hard to breathe?
It was.
I mean, like when after you tied him, you got back to your horse and got the adrenaline of winning out of you. Did you have your breath, or by the time you got out of the arena?
I know for sure when in pressure situations that I don't ever breathe once I nod my head. I know I don't. Because there's no way that to do what I do and all the adrenaline and stuff I have going to be out of breath at a 6, 7, 8 second run. But that was the worst thing because I'm claustrophobic anyway, and with that lung and holding my breath that long, it really wasn't that bad in the first 2 rounds. But in the short round, my calf ran on a little bit and kind of tested. I made a great run on him with 7 something, but I had to run him out there just a little further, and that run was harder on me than the first 2. But it was a lot more of a pressure situation because the first 2 runs were in the slack. And the third one's a sold out Nampa, Idaho rodeo. One of my favorite rodeos of all time.
That's my favorite too. Yeah.
Hey, and this is July. This is the middle of July, so he gets through this, wins Nampa, gets back rolling again. Well, the most important thing a tie-down roper has to win on is his horse. And he just brought up Horse of the Year a couple times now, Pearl. He's ridden Pearl out here. He's won $400,000 on her out here. Well, he's been hurt. He gets healed up. He gets back on the roll. Things are going good, and then guess what? He cripples Pearl. So not only has he had to deal through his deal, now he's got his main mount crippled, and he's still trying to catch up from being out and being hurt, and steps into a little rodeo in Pasadena, Texas.
And I was there.
And Donnie witnessed it. And Colin said,
I loved it.
He called and said, "Man, B, you got a new horse. I got one. I'm headed to Pasadena, and it's going to be all right." And it's 2-head at Pasadena, and he wins first, second, first, and that did it right there. Yep. That made the national finals. But what I'm getting at is not only did you fight your stuff, you had to fight horse stuff, and then all that to prevail to make the national finals is what sets Cody Ohl apart. So, yes, we expect him to win 60 rounds. He's that much better than everybody else.
What was fun, whenever you backed in for your second calf, and I told him the other night that calf was laying down, and they asked if you want that extra, and you don't know. We're roping this one. He goes out, he's got to be 7-8, and he's 7-8 or 7, and wins that round, wins the average, and I said, 14 calf ropers just threw up in their mouth. I said it right on the microphone in the full grandstands, I guarantee you.
There was 2 of them trying to jump off the stands back there because they thought they were safe.
Let's take a look at Cody at work. This is from tonight. Cody, you and Joe can talk about this.
This was an outstanding run. As my dad would say, textbook no, but real good.
This calf, they won around on him the other night, and man, this horse is 6 years old. Like I said, I had a great buddy of mine that owned Luke, that was 2006 Horse of the Year, and went on to win a world championship on him that year. And I cracked this horse out 2 nights ago, and he has been just dead on. So when the gates have cracked, he has been into my hand and given me a shot to be 6 both times. Well, tonight, he just kind of barely gave me just a little false air. I mean, he tried his guts out right there. I mean, that calf.
Well, he wasn't the only one trying his guts out. Y'all see that? I mean, when he threw...
He's plumb under the speakers out there. I mean, you're way the heck out there.
Watch right here. He's about to do a dipsy-do down right there. But instead, he just hits the big pin, I might add, catches him coming up off the ground. He never hits the ground again until he's strung. And he's 8-2?
8-2.
8-2 past the scoreboard.
Most people are 9-something way out there.
There was 2 of them, that's right, 9-4 and 10-3 right there tonight. But it goes back to the try and determination of a champ. I thought it was a great run, and it was one that wasn't as easy even as the 6-6.
It's just hard for me out here. When these rounds are easy, and the time I rope tonight, I mean, it's a conversation that I have with my wife every run, every year. It's when the round's easy. It's when a lot of guys go out is because you try to safety up a little bit, and this is not a place to safety up. There's a 90% chance that I'm going to win first or I'm not going to win anything because I'm going to throw at the same spot every time. And like tonight, I mean, I gave that calf just that much more of a head start because the round was easy, and look, I mean, I almost got a no time because I threw all my rope at him and just happened to go on and I've missed my slack 3 times this week.
I was just going to say what I know about calf roping, we can put in the cap of that water bottle. But the thing that I've noticed is you haven't gotten your slack in like 3 of the rounds. And how come?
When a guy is that, I mean, I'm that confident in my horses. Like I knew I threw it far enough. My curl come around and came up. When your curl comes around and stays low, it'll feed back. And when it feeds back, it's going to open back up. But every calf that I've missed my slack on, I've thrown it, and my curl has came up. And so the time that horse drops and sucks back, it's tight.
It's tight.
You know that's a big
really
deal.
not necessary.
If that horse would have took an extra jump like a lot of horses do out here, when you expose yourself that much, yeah, it's going to feed back through. But when he hit on that front end and jumped back, it just took it wasn't much slack to be pulled out, but it was enough. The horse made the bigger difference.
Joe, let's take a look at this is your 6-6 run the other night. I think round 3.
Yeah, this
here, Cody.
is the
Let's
start
take a look
and
at
the
this.
throw that he likes to get right here. And watch him get off the corner. Say he gets off and pulls. I mean, nobody, I could do it good, but I couldn't do it that good. That guy gets off that corner, and here's where he messes everybody up. If we can see where he's at in the front and he's pulling a little bit, you can't get out any better than that.
I'll tell you, I mean, it's funny, and people are like, I'm crazy, but this was the ultimate chance for me to be 2 or 3 tenths of a second faster than the arena record that I hold. But they've got this crowd. I mean, it's priceless to me. I mean, they know when they play that song, and I'm revved up, and as soon as I nod, they just go to hollering. I can't hear not one person that I think would be on my team at that time hollering that I was out. The whole time I thought I broke the barrier. And, you know, I was kind of, right here when I get to this calf, I'm in my back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking, you know, why didn't I see a little bit more? The round wasn't that tough that night either. And you can see as this calf I kind of bobble flanked him just a little bit, but it was because of his head coming into me. But at the time, I'm not really thinking, my position on my flanking wasn't 100% on my mind. You know what I mean? I'm thinking.
Because you thought maybe you broke the barrier?
Yeah,
I'm
90% sure. When I looked at George and he's holding the barrier about halfway up and the tail of it's doing like this, I went ahead and got on.
Hey, when he threw his hands up, I
wasn't going to tell him this, but I picked him in my pro fantasy team.
Oh, you really gambled, didn't you?
Damn right.
Yeah, you big gambler. 20,000 for him. He's worth 100.
Well,
hey.
I mean, I'm sitting there. He's 6'6". He gets on his horse. He takes a step up. Rope hit the ground, and then he throws his hat and he starts blowing kisses and stuff. And that judge is riding at him the whole time, going, Cody, ride up, right? I'm thinking, oh crap. I wasn't worried about Cody. I was worried about my fantasy money. You know? But did he say anything to you after you got your hat on? Because you didn't see him there for probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 10 seconds.
That calf laid about 12 seconds.
I mean, he wasn't getting up.
But I'm not so sure he didn't stop the clock, because I rode up and I never make as much eye contact with that calf as I can. It's just part of me. But I know I sat there 4 or 5 seconds before I ever did anything. But there's nothing worse. I'm not going to throw my hat, for one, if I think somebody behind me is going to beat me. And 2, I don't do any celebrating normally till I know we're at 6 seconds. And I knew I was close enough, because he never even wiggled. But like I said, I'm not so sure Joe Bob didn't stop it and restart it, but it worked out, and it could have been a bad deal.
Well, I know it, because I'm thinking, because, when he rode up and went to trying to get your attention other than just, hey, I thought, has he not started that 6 seconds yet? I mean, because I'm thinking. And
I rode my horse up.
Because this was 10 or 11 seconds after that.
Joe Bob wants 2 or 3 foot of rope on the ground. Yeah. So when I did that, I knew I was legal. So I quit paying attention to the rest of it, because I knew I rode up enough. Well, that calf, he didn't really try to get up, but he turned. And when he turned, he took some of the slack out of my rope, and it wasn't like a foot of rope on the ground. So that's why he was telling me to move ahead. And
you might not have been scared, but I was.
Well, I'm going to tell you this.
I was plenty.
It wouldn't be good.
If I lose that deal, I had to get a tattoo. I don't want to lose.
I might have to start giving tattoos if my gets up.
If that calf gets up, it'd have been a tattoo in the arena. I'm afraid who got what.
Yeah, I don't know.
The one thing that I think too, in defense of that horse is 6 years old. This is a big, loud building for a 6-year-old horse to take it. It's not like backing in there on Pearl or Luke. The first night, it's like, what's going to happen? And tonight, I thought he proved his point. You know, he took it good. He'd give him a chance with no help, no setup. So I look for better things for the last half of the finals because, number one, Cody's back, you know, in his game. Number two, he knows that horse can take whatever. And you go to put him in that position, and we get Billy Hepbauer's record this year.
Very cool. You were just mentioning, Cody, how the crowd here pumps you up. I've got to tell you how you pump us up and the crowd here, and it's electric to watch you compete here. And as I say, I followed you all from the whole year, right through Nampa on, and I kept saying in my little report, don't bet against him. Don't bet against him. Don't bet against him.
That's the worst thing. You know, we don't do Twitter or Facebook at my house, but I had a great friend, Brenda Crowder. She just posted, you know, results of how it's done. People were wanting to know. And it was awesome just to see how many followers, you know, followed me. And then half the town of Heiko came last night, and they all had these T-shirts made, you know, non-believers pay attention. You know, it means a lot, you know.
But let me throw in there why Heiko is so behind Cody Ohl. You know, there's been 2 tragedies there. Am I right? 2. Okay. He has bull ridings, he has a match open, he has a fundraiser for the town. Heiko is a little town that is very proud of Cody Ohl and his family because of what Cody Ohl gives back to that town. A lot of people never see that part of it because, like I said, it's not Facebook, Twitter, all that. But I'm going to tell you, what makes a champion's town love him is giving back to the town. And that's one thing that y'all probably don't know, and you can go on and check it out. When Don Imus says something good about you, what you're doing for your town, you damn well know it was deserved. And Cody got us involved, and we helped some stuff in town. But give him a round of applause because that's a side nobody sees. This is a good guy for his town and his people.
We're glad you came tonight, Cody, and I will close the same way. Don't bet against him, and thank you. And I hope you're doing it for another 5 to 10 years.
Step back, non-believers.
Step back, non-believers. Cody Ohl, thank you so much for coming.
He takes his time and shares it with y'all, and, you know, because he's got his family here, and it is tough having your family out on the road, even when you are in Las Vegas.
I love it. I just absolutely love it.
You know, and I'll tell you, I'm going to throw this in real quick, too, because he mentioned Luke, you know, the horse of the year. He won the championship on 06 and whatever. He had come home that fall. My dad was in the hospital real sick, about to die, and I come home and brought my rig home and was kind of touch and go whether I'd make the finals. And I get a call from Cody one day, and he says, hey, you going back to Northwest? I said, man, I don't know. My dad's not, you know, I don't know how long he's going to make it, blah, blah. I don't have my horse. And he said, hey, my rig's up there, my driver. He said, I'm not going back this week. He said, just tell him to pick you up at the airport and ride Luke. And I rode Luke up there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Cody Ohl wasn't even there but 1 week out of that because he was in the lead. He didn't have to go. He let me have the rig, the horse, the driver, everything for 4 weeks up there, and I got the national finals made that run and got home in time for my dad to die, and Cody Ohl never said, you owe me this, you owe me that, nothing but took care of me.
Awesome. Great story, Joe. Great story. Yeah. I'm glad I'm here tonight, aren't you? What a great, great way to start this thing off. I want to bring this young man out. Talk about a guy that I've followed all year long. And I called Donnie at the first of the year. I said, Donnie, is this kid the real deal? He's the real deal.
Another rookie that is unbelievable.
Phenomenal. Sage Kimzey is here tonight. Would you welcome him? Yes.
Number 1 man in the PRCA, Sage Kimzey.
Yeah, man.
The rookie after title.
Boy, we're glad to have you here. Did you enjoy that interview too? Wasn't that cool?
Oh, yeah, I love Cody Ohl and admire him so much as a competitor and as a person. He's a great guy and a great calf roper for sure. It was cool getting to listen to him and learn a little bit more about him.
Well, and we want to learn about you, Sage Kimzey. Have you officially turned 20 now? You're most of the year I covered you. You're 19 years old. Sage Kimzey comes from a rodeo family. Everybody knows his dad, Ted. But the young man can ride. And boy, you and I were talking about it back in the green room here. I had mentioned on this, if you can get by those first 2 rounds and not let things get to you, look at you. Talk about this experience.
This experience is more than I could ever ask for or I ever imagined. You know, it's been something I've wanted to do my whole life, and it's what I've been working for my whole life. But you know, being here and getting to compete in the Thomas and Mack my first year, especially having all the success I've had in my rookie year, it's something special. It really is. And like you said, after that second bull, when, you know, I got one under my belt and everything started to take off and roll, and 2 more really good draws, and everything's clicking.
And you notice, Donnie, he said my rookie year. My rookie year. That's just pretty darn phenomenal.
Well, he's a rookie. You know, if you look at when he got his PRCA card and all that, but his daddy Ted, national finals bullfighter, barrel man, and you know, and a cowboy, and he's a rookie only in the fact. I'll go ahead and ruin this for you. He's only in the fact that he's not competed at the Thomas and Mack in the bull riding. Everywhere else, he's a dadgum veteran. He's raised in the business. He's comfortable in the PRCA. He's not intimidated by any of the surroundings, the competitors, the supposed heroes or anything else. He's that's part of who he is. He already knows about it. And a lot of kids today, they like to go spike the ball. They spend more time trying to learn how to dance in the end zone than they do learning how to work and to play the game. He's already been raised that way. He knows how to work, knows how to play the game. And now all he's doing is going out and making a living at the most dangerous job on the face of the planet. But he's one of those unique guys that loves to do what he's doing. Is that not correct?
And I want, Donnie, Sage, and I want both of you to talk about this. Backstage, you said to me, what's hit me about this Thomas and Mack, how slow everything happens. And I want you guys to explain this huge arena, this rodeo, and when you said that to me, I thought, well, that's a conundrum. How can it, what do you mean it happens so slow? Yeah, you had one of those Lance.
Yeah, over my head too, Donnie, don't worry.
But tell me about that. What do you mean everything happens slow in this arena?
I don't know if it's just because my motor's wound up so tight and I'm just so ready to go out and compete, but shoot, as soon as I get on the back of those chutes, everything just, it slows down, and I've read a lot of mental preparation books, and they say that's when you're at the peak of your performance. It's when everything starts slowing down and everything. And even the first bull, bull of the year I got on, and he bucked me off, but everything felt slow on him. And I was like, geez, did he have an off day and still get me on the ground or what? And then I watched the film, and I was like, shoot, no, he was bucking. And I don't know, it just, everything is slowed down. And like I said, I guess it's just because my motor's running so fast and I want to win so bad. But it's a different feeling for sure.
I was glad you had the Buck and Bull of the Year for your first one. Everybody's going, the number one bull rider, number one. I was one of them saying that, number one bull rider. Knowing all the time that the real chance of you making the whistle on that bull, first performance, first NFR, all of these things, I know if you're in the right spot, at the right time, you have a chance. But that bull didn't get that honor by letting many, how about letting anybody, nobody's ridden this bull, getting bucked off of him, getting that first go-round out of the way, win, lose, draw, come up short. I thought, that might just work out just real good because you came back in the second go-round and the bull that you rode gave you 2 or 3 opportunities to get out of shape, out of control, and buck off, but you didn't. You rode just like you rode if you were at a little summertime $1,500 bull riding instead of the $18,000 go-round at the Thomas and Mack, and you won third on him, and then you come back and win first, and then you come back and win first, and then you come back tonight and win second. The real deal.
Let's take a look at him at work. And now that give him a hand. Absolutely.
Let's watch the bull riding.
Let's watch it from.
Talk about it, Sage. What is that?
Sage.
Tell them what you're doing.
That's Who's American Ride, great bull, and he's definitely a wild one. They don't ride him very often, and shoot, I'm just holding on for dear life, really. He was turning back to the left. I was. Again, he didn't feel like he was bucking that hard, but shoot, watching the replay,
I told you, he was a really good bull. But he wasn't trying that hard. He's just trying to get a date right now. One more time. I just want to watch that again. You watch that, you've seen all these guys get crashed around. Look at this bull jump kick. That's away from his hand. Leaping. He's backing up. Now he moves forward. Never changed his demeanor. Great ride. Do y'all not like that?
Yeah.
You know what? That looks like dancing with a pretty girl right there. He's in time. He's got his rhythm. And that, if you listen to me on television ever at all, if you've missed the mute button, you get your rhythm right out of the gate. And if you do that, bull riding's easy, isn't it? But if you don't, it might be a little tough on you.
It is. That's, everybody thinks bull riding's this macho sport, to where we just hold on to him, but it's not that at all. Bull riding's a chess match. It really is. It's counter moves against the bull's moves. If you try to stand toe-to-toe with one of those 1,800-pound dudes, they will put you on the ground. But no, it's all about counter moves and being in the right spot at the right time and feeling out that bull and just hitting your stride and going with it.
Okay, rookie, just barely 20 years old. Tell them what you told me on a number of occasions about not beating yourself.
Well, Donnie come up to me. What round was that? The second?
Second.
I think it was after the second go-round, and, we were just talking about how everything went. I'd finally got, I'd rode my first bull at the NFR, and he said, as long as you don't screw up, everything will be fine. And I said, well, Donnie, that's one thing I'm not going to do. I said, I'm not going to buck myself off. I said, I will make every bull I get on have to buck me off. I said, I'm not going to make a move that throws me in a predicament that I can't get out of.
How many times have you seen and done it yourself? I've done it a jillion times. And you hear Joe B talking about calf roping. When you really want to be fast, you need to slow down and you basically take care of business, everything that you trained and prepared for. But more guys have bucked themselves off in the bull riding so far than the bulls have. If you're a bull rider, you know what I'm talking about. And you
Even if you're not, if you listen to it and you watch a guy like Sage ride, or you watch a J.W. Harris, and then you watch the other guys, you can see the guys, they're in a position that no way they can get back from. So they're going to buck themselves off, right?
And sometimes they'll be in good position, and then they'll make a turn. They'll over move with their upper body, and basically that moves your butt out of position. And you get your butt in the wrong spot, you're not going to make the whistle, period. And that's what I'm so impressed, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of his daddy, because his daddy's not really, the coach in command. He raised him properly to go out there and figure out for yourself. You know what the basic fundamentals are. Bull riding, not rocket science. One leg on each side and an ugly face for 8 seconds. That gets her done sometimes. But the thing about it is, you don't beat yourself, but you really look forward to the challenge on every single bull. And I'm really impressed. And I'm, I don't pull for one guy to win more than the other guy, but I loved it when TB3, that's Trey Benton III. I call him TB3. He comes up, he'd bucked off his first couple of bulls and was really kind of fighting his head. Joe B and Gary LeFew, they went to talking to him, because we've said a jillion times, if you've been to our show, you do the work and learn and work from the shoulders down, you win from the neck up. And TB3 comes up to Sage after he wins the go-round last night and says, and TB3 won second. He goes, okay, Sage. He said, I got my mojo back. He said, I'm coming after you fast. And Sage said, well, you better shift into overdrive. So Sage went second tonight. TB3 won third. They're both battling it out. But I tell you what, everybody enjoying the bull riding and the rodeo so far? I am too, and it's part because I'm pumped watching these guys come along.
Youngsters.
This is a new regime.
Youngsters
here,
like this guy make me glad to watch it again, because you know what? If you got your tail in your hand and your head hits the ground, you're trying to make the 8-second whistle. You're not looking out, looking for a way out,
like Trey
and looking
Benton
for an excuse. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, it's an honor to meet you face to face, Sage. We're pulling for you and proud of you. Well-spoken young man.
And thanks for your time coming out here to share with everybody, because trust me, I took my wife to the airport this morning, got her on the plane, and was sent it to Texas, and so I run out to see the secretary at the rodeo at Thomas and Mack, and it was about I don't know, 9 o'clock, 9:30, something like that. He's going in to get his stuff, go do an interview. He's promoting his sport, his job, and his business, and it's tough whenever everybody's trying to get some of your time and you're trying to make a living down there, and we appreciate you being on our show. Thank you.
No problem. Thank all y'all for having me, and thank all for y'all coming out. It's something special.
Sage Kimsey right there. Nice.
Green lap will go to a Utah man. He has been amazing and will continue to do it. How about a big cheer for Joe Frost behind the banner?
That's just too cool. Geez, I'm jealous. I'm jealous, you know.
And gee, talk about a kid look you right in the eye and talk to you.
You know what? Y'all, I don't know if you know, for many people been here this week, but we've had a lot of rookies on this stage.
Marty Yates the other night.
And they have
Joe
sat there
Frost.
and handled that microphone as good or better than we've had in the last 8 years.
I agree with you.
At all. So for the next generation, the rodeo champions,
Looking
we're
good.
looking pretty dang good. Yeah.
I agree. Awesome. All right, let's move along. It just keeps getting better and better here, and I'm honored to have with us tonight. We've got Bob Tallman and Boyd Polhamus there with us, but also we have the commissioner of the PRCA, Karl Stressman. Let's get everybody out here. Give him a hand if you would, please.
Carlito.
That would be the number one man right
That's
here.
it.
Okay.
That's it.
We've had them all out here.
Carlito.
Evening, Bobby. Evening, Boyd.
Oh, Dad.
Karl, thank you so much for coming out here. Bob and Boyd,
Karl
it's good
gets
to
his
see you.
grandfather.
Karl, we've got stuff to talk about here, and so let's just jump right into it. First of all, we're thrilled. Everybody's thrilled to be in Las Vegas for the next 10 years. Yeah.
For more money.
For more money, and
That's what really
it's just
thrills
gonna get
everybody.
huge.
Good
Everybody's concerned, after a good fight, everybody kind of ends up
Well, now, wait a
respecting
minute. I
each-
wasn't that enamored with all that damn money. First time I went to the final, the go-rounds paid $429 for first place.
And that was
1929 doesn't count.
That's
though.
exactly right.
And airplane fuel costs 15 cents a gallon. What are you complaining about?
I'm not.
So let's say now, after this is all settled, the relationship, now let's talk about that. Let's talk about Kissimmee, Florida, and how that's come full circle. But catch us up on those situations, Karl.
Well, I think everybody is aware of what happened last year and what a difference 12 months makes. I can tell you that. Because last year we sat up here and talked about this a little bit, and it was a tough time for everybody that was involved in negotiations for the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. It ended up, obviously, and you all know this, that we're going to be here for the next 10 years. And Las Vegas events and the LVCVA, we came to an agreement in, the latter part of January, early part of February. And from that point forward, when we did agree on the terms, the relationship was just almost automatically healed. It was difficult last year. As you all know, negotiations are tough, and people get their feelings hurt, and people, take things out of context. And, of course, with the great social media that we have, everybody wants to weigh in on what they think they know, which is usually nothing. And so what the problem was is that everybody has an opinion.
Why was he looking at me and you, Joe?
Well, Karl, people get their feelings hurt, and so do cities and communities. And Kissimmee, to me, because they were in the running, in the hunt in this thing, they had two choices. They could have said, to heck with you guys in the PRCA, but they didn't. They came back around and said, what can we do?
When it was obvious that the Vegas contract would be re-signed, Kissimmee had a great opportunity to say, hey, look, we again, they get their feelings hurt, and you didn't take our city. But instead, they came back and said, we want a championship event also. Is there anything we can do? So the RNCFR, which is the culmination of the circuit finals in every one of the 12 circuits, now is going to be in Kissimmee, Florida, which gives the PRCA the opportunity to have a championship event in the two greatest tourism areas in the world. Vegas is one tourism area that caters to a certain group of people, and then obviously the Orlando, Kissimmee, Disney caters to another piece. So we have a championship event in both places that can, in fact, be life-changing for our members of our association, and we're just really looking forward to doing that. But they were absolutely a class act. Both of them were. Vegas, when we finally got done with it, and then Kissimmee said, hey, we want something in Osceola County.
And they picked up the money as well. I think there's $1 million going to be added to that, $10,000 to the community.
And I don't think a lot of people know that exactly, but you know, that's for that circuit finals. That's not many of these guys that are riding here are riding there. That's more guys in the association getting some money, because I'm gonna tell you, if to make the national finals is great, even if you're in the 15th position. But if you're in 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, you have spent all of the money that you won trying to get here, and you're flat ass broke.
No doubt about it.
You need another place to go. That was great too, by the way.
Well, and the other part of the contract that Vegas agreed to was to supply the entire association, every member of the association, with additional funds. So not only did they say, here's $10 million in prize money for Vegas, which next year, as you all know, it'll pay $1 million around. Here in Las Vegas, it's paying $6.375. This year, it'll pay $10 million for our members next year. But part of that contract was that they put another $1.2 million in every circuit. So there's $100,000 more that Las Vegas was generous enough to give to the association, and that provides the opportunities that the association is responsible for.
And the raise not only affects the contestants, but it affects the stock contractors. And in the rough stock events, you get a certain amount of money for every animal that's picked by the Cowboys to bring to the rodeo. I think it's like a little over, almost $6,000 now. I think it's going to be $10,000 per animal, 26 cents a mile. 26 cents a mile from Mesquite, Texas to Las Vegas. That's a pretty good check in itself.
Exactly.
You know,
Bob, go
per
ahead.
animal.
You wanted to...
Well, the first thing I heard you say was we are going to be here for the next 10 years. I'm 67 years old, and I sure as hell plan on being here as a part of that we 10 years from now. I don't know what doing. Might be in a wheelchair and Boyd pushing me uphill, getting ready to shove me off the other side. But we is a big deal. We is a big deal. And we includes all of you. It includes people that haven't even become rodeo fans yet. And I'm sitting beside him, which I have before, and I've faced him before. And we have disagreed equally as much as we've agreed. And I've jumped on him publicly, behind his back, face to face, as much as anybody. But I care. But he cares. But you think about that when he just said Las Vegas events, $100,000 times 10 days. $100,000. People don't understand what it takes.
$1 million.
Yeah, well, I mean, but...
Good at math, that Donnie. He can do that math. Listen to that boy cipher.
You whack it. He used the term $100,000 and just an extra increase.
I want to go. I want to go back to the wheelchair thing for just a minute and Boyd, you
want me to push you?
I want y'all to get that commercial that the Democrats ran. I wanted to be Grandpa over the cliff.
Here's what I love most about staying here. While if you're the management of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association and Dallas is coming to you, the governor of Texas is coming to you, and Florida's coming to you, you have to listen, okay? But you also have to listen to your fans, and I don't think there was any ambiguity from the fans. The fans really loved Las Vegas. They did. And had there been more time, probably, to hear out Dallas or to hear out Florida, you know, it's very important. You talk to Joe or Donnie, these are guys who have lived, you know, me and Bobby T, when we show up, it's written on a sheet of paper what we're going to get paid, so we can budget. And for a contestant, it's not that way. Shane Hanchy said to me when we were in Denver, when the word came out that the deal had been done, he said, this changes my life. He's 25 years old, and he's right. It does change his life. But I'm just glad, even though I think, given time, a place like Texas might even come up with more than what Las Vegas was going to come up with, given time. But I'm certain, and I wasn't in the negotiations, but I'm certain how all of you feel about being able to come here to this city and these accommodations and enjoy the amenities of Las Vegas and realize that some of the other places that were fighting for the NFR didn't offer the same amenities, I believe wholeheartedly that was in the back of the mind of the people negotiating on behalf of the PRCA. And so at the end of the day, we all end up winning because the contestants like Shane Hainchey, who are 25 years old, have a lot of life in front of them. We can see Shane here for another 10 years, and when those day monies pay, get this, it's $19,000 this year, $28,000 next year. The average $49,000 this year, it's $70,000 next year. Okay, so they're going to benefit, but the fan base is too, because there is no doubt that the fan base loved Las Vegas.
No question about it. Karl, when Boyd is talking about that, and you may not be able to say this, I don't know, because I don't know that it came down strictly to dollars. Because I know Kissimmee was, matter of fact, last year here during this show, the people were here from Kissimmee. They were here and watching, and they came even to our show one night. So I don't know if it was strictly dollars or the whole package of things for you to look at, and I'm not privy to that, and maybe you can't say that. Maybe it didn't come down to dollars.
I don't think there's any secrets in the negotiation of what happened, but we went to, and it started in Oklahoma City, which a lot of people don't know. Oklahoma City was very interested in bringing the finals back to Oklahoma City, which you all are very well aware of.
Wasn't that big a deal? I was king there for a few years.
Short king.
Oh, wait.
Well, they didn't have much to judge from, did they?
Hey, in order to be king, you must be this high. And you were this high, so you can't even
That's
ride.
about right.
Dude, you can't even ride the Ferris
He can't
wheel.
ride the ride, no.
And now that we've learned kings should never go on a sugar diet, sugar-free.
Go ahead and finish, Karl.
But Oklahoma City was very, very much in the running at the very first of that, which most people don't know. And we had a number in mind that we thought the National Finals Rodeo value was when we started early in January, almost 2 years ago. And we said the value of the Wrangler National Finals is worth X. And our goal always was to make sure that we thought that the value of this for our contestants was $1 million a round. Well, obviously, when you're negotiating, if I tell you that it's worth this much, you're going to tell me, hey, we can't afford to pay that much. We're going to pay half of that. So it starts from there. So went from Oklahoma City, which at Oklahoma City we couldn't secure the building because the Thunder were in the building in Oklahoma City. And I met with the city leaders many times in Oklahoma City, and then actually flew from Oklahoma City straight into Vegas on one occasion and talked to them here. So it went from Oklahoma City. It went then to Osceola County, which we had a Champions Challenge there, as you all well know. And they said, we heard that the National Finals Rodeo is up for bid. And we were a little dumbfounded and taken back by the fact that here we are in Florida, and they're asking, hey, can we have the National Finals Rodeo? So we're thinking, that might be an interesting, at least, conversation to have. So that was the next conversation. Then after that, Dallas came into play, and everybody knows that's on Facebook, which apparently the whole world is, that Dallas was an opportunity then. So it went from Oklahoma City to Osceola County to Dallas, and then obviously, Las Vegas, and they were playing, it was a bluff. Let's face it, we're playing poker with the people that invented it. We're in Vegas playing poker with the people that invented it. Do you think I didn't lose a little sleep over last year? My poor wife, I don't think she slept in a year because of all the things that are going on. Well, that's true. Yeah,
But I do remember you saying, Karl, when you were here last year, because you're talking about, again, value, and that was because it got pretty ugly. Let's be honest. It got real ugly with everybody. And I remember when we were here, Billy Etbauer coming up to me and saying, we're going to go to Oklahoma City, is what he told me.
And he had an inside track on that deal because it was
Express
Express
Ranches,
Ranches,
that's
because
why
Mr. Bob
that
Funk
money.
Sr., who is a very good friend of the PRCA and certainly of our contestants, was the man pushing the buttons in Oklahoma City. And he was very, very serious about bringing the finals back to Oklahoma City. Well, as you all well know, Dallas had the finals in
59, 60, and 61.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yes.
and they
Donnie
wanted it
was
back.
40.
I was there.
They had slogans already in place. We bringing the national finals home to Dallas. So
I
it
didn't
gave us.
mind and got a spanking that first performance. The 59 finals. Yeah.
But it actually ended up that the value that we established
Yes.
from the very beginning of the negotiations is the value of the contract in place today, which is $165 million.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. You know, and
So in that perspective, it's again, what have you done for me lately? That's all done and that's all put to place. Can you tell us about anything coming up? Your television deal with CBS Sportsnet is it for 3 years?
3 years. Yeah. We've actually just extended it. We're in a good position, I think, with CBS Sports. We got some issues that we have to. Anytime you change networks, you know, you have some things. People, I don't think understand completely that television is a very difficult piece.
And it really is now with satellite, cable. It used to be pretty simple, but now it is a cluster.
Very difficult.
And really, truthfully, if you look at the medium, of television, and you see what's happening with the evening news and the numbers as they drop, television is just a little bit behind newspapers. Okay, you know how the newspapers have gone on the World Wide Web, so you subscribe to a newspaper on the web and you read it on the web. Well, I will tell you, I think in my lifetime, we will see the day where the three major networks, broadcast networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, if you want to include them, will be gone, and most of the people will be carte blanching it off the internet. They will. That's why your Wrangler Network thing that you're doing is kind of innovative, and it's a place for people to get supreme rodeo content. But if you're trying to find it on the networks, those days are gone. The NFL owns that, and the NFL is about the only professional sporting franchise other than baseball and basketball that actually gets paid a royalty for airing their product on television. If you're watching tennis, know tennis bought the time on CBS.
Exactly.
If you're watching golf, know that the PGA bought the time. Sadly, rodeo does not have the income to go to CBS, ABC, NBC and say, okay, I'll buy an hour's worth of time for $10 million and air our rodeo. That's why we're not on the majors. But at the end of the day, it's about growing your fan base. And as much as I love the Wrangler Network and RFD-TV, we are to a certain extent preaching to our choir there.
Exactly.
That's where we're going to find our fans that already are there. We have to, in order to expand, we still have to try to find our way on the ESPNs of this world.
I agree with that, and at the same time, take care of the choir. Right. I mean, because that's a delicate balance. Right.
We made a determination a long time ago. This is my 7th NFR as the commissioner of the PRCA, that the future of television had to be to create new consumers. Not that we wouldn't. We want to make an opportunity to have to reward our fans. We have the greatest fans in sports, the most loyal sports and loyal fans in sports. But we've got to create. If we're going to move our sport forward, we got to create new consumers. We got to create new fans. And being on a channel that strictly adheres to the consumers that we have today is not a good future for us. So CBS. So when you go to CBS, and I've got, believe me, my phone has been going off for 3 days that there's college basketball on.
My wife went to bed. She said, "I just can't stay up."
Exactly right. But in to Boyd's point, they're not paying us to be on TV. They, very frankly, they don't want us on TV unless you can pay. They don't want you. And you guys are very, very well. You three of you are very, very well. All of y'all are. So for us to be able to put this on TV, it costs us to buy television time. And when we do that, we have to go someplace. When you go to CBS as opposed to some other network, then you have to negotiate these things. In the contract, just so you know, there's a 15-minute delay that they have access to being able to say, if college basketball runs long on CBS Sportsnet, you all can't see it for 15 minutes. You can't imagine. Now, we've had two in the last 5 nights that we've been preempted for 15 minutes. The phones are blowing up. I get it. I understand it. I really do. But for us to make the next move, we've got to get to CBS.
What we got to do is get that guy that watched college basketball to stay on that channel and find out who Trevor Brazile, Tuff Cooper, Casey Field, and Cody Wright and all these people are. And once they know them like you know them, they will fall in love with them just like you fell in love with them, and they will follow our sport because I'm going to tell you this.
And the thing is, our fans that we have, that you can help whenever you buy that time, and you're talking about a lot of money. You got 7 minutes to get some of your money back to be able to buy more time. It's not to stick in your pocket, but to buy more time. So it's a really, really tough deal. If you
If you
think
don't- if you
rodeoing is
can't watch
tough
us
to make a
TiVo us-
living, try doing television.
Right. What you got to do is you got to tell the network that you're watching, whether you can or can't. So TiVo it, have it on, so the programming, the ratings companies show that you're interested. And then whenever your cable or satellite provider threatens removing the programming from you, you got to write them and tell them, no, if you quit me, I quit you. And the minute they start feeling the power of the fan base of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, they'll start playing to it rather than playing against it. But you can't just go, well, doggone, I missed the bronc riding because a college basketball game was on. You want to know why? Because the college basketball game is drawing more viewers. And we just need to have our voices heard.
Even though it's preempted, though, for 15 minutes, and that's contractual, they are still obligated to put all of it entire.
Air it
so
in
it's not
its
like you're going to
entirety.
miss it, but it is aggravating for us. But then again, you have to look at the size of the television network that we're trying to
Thank you.
attract.
Thank
and
you.
and if it's not the situation, then we got to make it different. We got to have our voices heard in the sport of pro rodeo to make an effective move in the future of this deal. The CBS deal, the goal of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association in the next couple of years, and I'm not going to give you a time frame because I'm not sure I can do this, is to have CBS Sports be the 9 rounds, and for us to go back to a format that we had before where we had an afternoon performance, which was the closing performance, the 10th performance, and get on CBS, the mothership. That's where we're going to gain consumers. But
That's right.
the expense...
Get on the network. Get
And
on
you've
the
got to have
network.
time to market that prior to doing it once you've made that decision for the change in the format. Take a look at the big picture. Rodeo's 100 years old, okay? We had John Wayne, we had Audie Murphy, we had all those guys that were Western kind of a thing. Used to be cool for a kid to want to be a cowboy, a fireman, or a cop, all right? Now they have choices. And here's the deal, not so much, and you're exactly right. Here's the deal. 30 years ago, we had the Heston telecast, John Blair telecast. We had telecasts that had no competition against them, that were airing the NFR, that were airing Oklahoma City, that were airing big rodeos all across the country. Okay, we didn't have the competition. Today, we got to think about something else. When the little kid's 5, 6, 7 years old, you can pitch him a baseball, football, pitch a frisbee, and he can get adopted
Can I add something to that?
something. Yes, sir.
Not only can they pitch him a football, a baseball, or a golf club, in most cases, our taxes, our property taxes, paid for the football coach, paid for the baseball
Bingo.
coach, paid for the field, paid for the indoctrination at the youth and elementary and high school level, where we don't have that in rodeo. You don't have a tax base where they're thrown, where it's being underwritten by the tax code that somebody's going to be there to teach you how to bulldog, and so we got to fight that too.
We are just flat out. We're way over time. I want to thank all, and Karl, I want to thank every time when Karl comes out here, he's the same way. Anything is fair game. All of us have agreed and disagreed with him and with each other about this, but I'm always glad that you come, Karl, and take on all comers as you have the whole year. So we're glad to be in Las Vegas. We're glad to
He's
be
not
here.
scared.
Yeah. But give these guys a hand if you would, please. And let me tell you, if you are here with us, we have a lot of prizes to give away for you, and we're going to do that. We have to do a formal goodbye here to the television cameras. That's racked up and ready to roll. We'll do that and then give away prizes, including this George Strait signed guitar back there. So thank you for being with us here at National Finals tonight. We'll give away prizes in just a second. Thank you. What I think would be great, Karl, is if this technology is there, is for you to one night do a live Wrangler Network forum where people would stream it live. They could text you questions just to feel like they had their crystal
Bye.